Yeah. Have you been watching anything interesting on Netflix or Amazon Prime or anything like, or catch up that
No, I haven't
is
reached the
worth
stage of
watching?
having time to do stuff yet. Yesterday was a Saturday, as in I was knackered from work, and that week I did more hours than I'd normally do. Today was the first day of I've been messing around with games consoles and stuff, and spending time with my son. And I think this is something actually a new thing. The time wasn't there before, So that's started to happen now. I think where stuff has been happening, and I'll get to sit down and watch stuff. Picard finished, so there's 10 episodes of that.
I've seen a few news reports on Picard. I haven't read them because it sounds like there was some spoilers in there. But they were questioning whether it's gone in the right direction and stuff like that.
Yeah, just don't watch YouTube. It's full of nonsense.
Okay.
Crap. Well, these idiot people who are on YouTube.
Yeah.
Everyone that watches us we know nothing. That's fine. You get these channels where what they've done. There's one where they've nicked the Stranger Things music and pretended it's their. It made it look like a professional show, and it isn't. It's just some idiot in his basement living with his parents. It's a loser who's angry at the world.
These people are making good money on YouTube now, aren't they?
This one must be, because he can't possibly be doing anything else. He says, "Oh, I've got insider knowledge about this happening. This show's a disaster," and they're just lying. They're just lying.
I think anyone who does well on YouTube, fair play to them, because ultimately it's really hard work.
Yeah,
that's why we haven't got a bigger channel, because we haven't got 24 hours a day to dedicate to it.
There is a middle ground, but this is supposed to be a bit of fun. So it's very difficult to think of content. What do we review? Okay, I've got to think about what to say about this, and I don't know, and very difficult.
Yeah, music reviews I think are much harder than film review. I mean, like with a film review, you can talk about the plot, the characters, the acting.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the film? Music, it's so difficult because you can't. But you talk about chord changes.
Yeah, it takes more time. Yeah. Unless then you'd have to learn the music. We're deliberately choosing music that's completely obtuse and complicated and difficult.
Yeah.
So it just can't be done. So it's just a nice chat, and don't take it seriously. Don't believe anything on YouTube at all. Never believe it. It's rubbish. What's good? He Who Moans is good.
Is this on YouTube?
Yeah. And Clever Dick Films does Doctor Who. Very good. Look, Red Letter Media are great. And that's it. Don't watch anything else. It's fine.
I watch, so I don't really do reviews on YouTube unless it's Kermode occasionally. If I watched a film and enjoyed it, I quite often go, "Oh, what did Kermode think about that?" Like I watched Joker on the plane over there, and I watched a Kermode review when I got back.
What did you think of Joker?
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. It was alright.
It was remorselessly, it was grim.
Yeah.
It was sort of like, oh god. I said to Sarah, I really enjoyed that afterwards, but I don't think you should watch it, Sarah. It's like it's a bit of an ordeal, and at the end of it, I'm rooting for Joker, and I'm not sure that's. I'm not sure that's. Maybe that's the revolutionary in me or whatever, but I mean.
You are, but it doesn't mean
you sympathising. You were sympathising with.
He's the Joker.
With the Joker.
It's the Joker. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. It's fine. The nonsense about that film. The nonsense. Either it is, it's the greatest film ever made. It's just it's a nice tribute to some classic films.
It's
tied into with the Joker. It's good. That's it.
Yeah, well,
that's all it is. Nothing else. It's not profound.
Well, it's a story in a comic book universe which isn't smash bang wallop. It is a character-driven film, essentially.
Well, it's Taxi Driver and whatever else it is, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's convincing as well.
Yeah.
You believe this guy's gone. You can understand why this guy's gone mental by the end of it and is a murderous rat bag.
Yeah.
And that's pretty impressive, for a comic book movie.
Yeah, only because they nicked the stuff. It's just a tribute to some films.
Yeah.
It's like saying, superhero movies, but there are actually good movies as well.
Yeah, I think
But that's all it is.
I think Scorsese was on as an executive producer early doors. I think that's where that's come from. Yeah, Todd Phillips directed it, didn't he?
Yes, that's his name.
I mean, that what? I think that. Well, I think Kermode intimates is a bit of a misfire on his part. He thinks it's a sort of like Todd Phillips alt-right thing.
It's not at all.
The snowflakes.
That was said before the film came out.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? And it wasn't that at all. That's not what the film's about. It's about mental illness.
Yeah, it's pretty. I enjoyed it, and I think it's a good film, and it deserves the plaudits it gets, simply because it's another bloody comic book movie.
Yes.
But it's worth watching.
Yeah, well, it's another bloody comic book movie that actually points to good films.
Yeah.
But that's all.
I mean, how many have we got? I mean, you got Watchmen, but that's only good because it's so faithful to the original source.
Oh yeah, actually, I mean, it isn't actually a good film. It's just a print of the book on the film.
Yeah.
That's why it's good. Yeah.
And the only other one that sort of approached it in that sort of way that I can think of off the top of my head is it Unbreakable, M. Night Shyamalan?
Bruce Willis?
I suppose.
I mean, it's a serious look at a comic book. He's a superhero movie presented in sort of real life. I mean, that's the twist, though. This is a comic book movie.
It's always the twist.
Yeah, I mean, that's a
All of them do
significant
that.
thing, isn't it?
Batman. Oh, it's serious now. Batman. Look, he's a man.
Oh no, the twist is you don't know you're watching a comic book movie.
Oh yeah,
until
yeah, it turns out to be.
until it turns out to be sort of thing, which I thought was quite clever. And apparently, there's 2 other films. I had a subscription to Now TV, which had the 3rd one on, but I thought I'm not going to watch that until I watch the 2nd. I mean, I found M. Night Shyamalan's films got a bit tiresome, but that was one of his better ones, Unbreakable. I watch the very few YouTube things religiously. I think the one I do at the moment is Samson Boat Company. It's a guy called Leo, and he's British, but he's gone to the United States and bought a boat that's basically had it, and he's rebuilding it.
Oh wow, that's good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I tell you what, the guy has got some skill, and it's amazing. He's sort of like a boat builder and a sailor. He starts it off on, "Hi, I'm Leo. I'm a boat builder and a sailor." I think he did it for about 8 years, but the guy, he knows so much about boat building. It's quite impressive.
Actually, yeah. To be fair, I didn't mention those. That's the good YouTube stuff. The people with knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other one is
they do
Mr.
stuff
Carlson.
and they have knowledge. They don't just bullshit.
Yeah, the other one I have, which is exactly that, is Mr. Carlson's Lab. I don't know if have you ever watched that?
I know about it. Yeah.
Oh, he's awesome. He's so geeky and so he knows so much. Like, it's sort of
we're pathetic.
I wish I wish I could understand what the hell you're saying.
8-Bit Guy is good as well.
And also, I've been on a bit of we've talked about American comedy in the past, haven't we? And sort of my confusion over it. Well, I've got a big confusion over Jerry Seinfeld, the adoration that guy gets. Apparently, he's like the consummate stand-up comedian.
Like number one, I
don't get. But there's a guy called Norm Macdonald, which all Americans are going, what do you mean there's a guy called Norm? Of course there's Norm Macdonald, but he's sort of like, you know how everyone loves Bill Murray?
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald is like the Bill Murray of the comedians. All comedians just love him. They think he's fantastic. There's something mystical about his comedic abilities, the way he tells jokes. There's just something in his the way he tells them that makes them innately funny.
Yeah.
So I've been on a bit of a mission to watch him and try and understand it. And actually, he is he is funny, but it's not like jaw-achingly funny. But there is something, I can't turn him off. It's one of them. I would say the humour's quite harmless, but actually the stuff he did on OJ for the Saturday Night Live was relentless. He does have these things that he's quite relentless on, which borderlines harassment. But actually, generally, his jokes are quite harmless, which I think makes him quite easy to watch. But he's got a series on Netflix. I think he's got a couple of things on Netflix, but one of them is an interview show. And he's got this reputation as being actually amongst comedians who have gone to chat shows, like David Letterman, and actually say he's a good interviewer. And so I've been, and I couldn't see it at first, but I think what it is like Joe Rogan and Howard Stern now, he's quite good at actually holding a conversation. Whereas you look at American chat shows like Conan and Letterman and things like that, they're not very good at actually holding a conversation. It's sort of like, it's really clunky the way they steer the conversation on.
Now tell us about the thing you're selling.
Yeah, it's not good, but he actually has a conversation with it. You can see he's got this thing he has to achieve sometimes, like they've got a book or they've got a film or whatever, but I mean it's very hard for him to get on there. They just end up talking about stuff. He's quite a knowledgeable guy, if you know what I mean, but it's not apparent when you first start watching him. But if you do start watching him, beware, because you will lose hours of your life. Because there's loads of YouTube about Norm Macdonald.
Actually, speaking of losing hours of your life, I did find there is someone reading out Lord of the Rings on YouTube. I think
did Christopher Lee ever do that? Because Christopher Lee was a big. He said, "Oh, I read Lord of the Rings once a year or something like that."
Yeah, I wish he did. Maybe he did. I don't know. But this is free. Yeah. This is on YouTube. I think you have to remember, Fellowship of the Ring is 2 books. That's how far this guy's got. He's done Fellowship of the Ring, so there's 2 videos, 11 hours each.
Jeepers.
Put on at night if you're insomniac is absolutely perfect. And you forget how much is in those books that's not in the films.
Yeah. Even
the extended ones. Tom Bombadil.
I'm not going to do that, Kev. I'm not going to lie to you.
Have you actually watched it? Have you read it? Lord of the Rings?
I got the trilogy for Christmas one year, and I think I got about... I think it was a little bit beyond me at the age I got them. So I think I read the first book, and I was like, I'm not following this. So I didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
Or maybe I should now. Maybe I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean you certainly you would be astonished at the ridiculous it is like the ultimate prog gatefold.
Is it?
Yeah. You know, it's just as an adult though, you can digest it and appreciate it for the bloatedness.
Well, someone bought me the Similarium. Ooh. And I didn't know what it was, and I started reading it, and it was like I couldn't get past the 5th sentence.
Yeah.
And then they told me it was more Lord of the Rings. And I think that put me off as well. I thought, flipping it. Yeah. I'm reading it. I went, what?
Several thousand years before the Lord of the Rings story.
Yeah.
And he didn't finish it, remember? It was finished off by someone else, so some of it is just notes.
Yeah. I mean, we should be into it. I mean, he's based in Edgbaston.
Yes.
Which is like a mile away.
Yeah, and that terrible thing that they had to use New Zealand for the movies because what Lord of the Rings is about is the fact that it got turned into Birmingham.
Yeah.
The Shire got turned into Birmingham.
Yeah. I mean, there was always rumours that Feckenham was a basis for some of Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. I don't know how true that is.
Perhaps that's Rivendell or something.
Yeah. Rivendell.
It's Feckenham.
Yeah, but that's what I'm occupying my time with, and I should be pressure washing the patio later. So that's quite mundane.